Hi everyone, it's Mary Blocker from Mary's Stampin' Cafe, and welcome to my Stampin' Saturday video that I've recorded. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, click that bell below and subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, especially in September. I am a fall fanatic. I love everything fall. The colors, the leaves. I am a leaf lover, and I also love pudgy little birds, and so this perched in a tree is perfect. And the other thing that I love 365 days of the year are gnomes. I have gnome garden stakes. I have blow up gnomes. I love gnomes. So if you like gnomes like me, definitely subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of things with the kindest gnomes. They're so fun. But the perched in a tree bundle is fantastic, you guys. It's not just for, say, the holidays. There are two holiday sayings here, but then there's a thank you, your kindness warms my heart, and no matter the season, I'm here for you. And two of my favorite things, splatters. I love splatters because they just fill in and give so much texture to projects. The aspen tree dies, very, very nice. You get these gorgeous leaves that have the veins embossed in them. Our little pudgy bird, and there's a floral die too. This is the fantastic aspens, which is a whole collection of the tree trunks and branches that are just gorgeous. So I'm going to be using that today in fall colors. The aspen tree dies are fantastic. You can do spring, you can do summer, you can do fall and winter. So fantastic. I think Christmas and holiday would be beautiful with this too, so that'll be coming a little later in the year. There's also a bundle for the kindest gnomes, and what's really great about this is it has that coordinating designer series paper that you can die cut out the gnomes already colored with the designer series paper, and the mushrooms too. Or you can do these great images yourself, color them in. And there's also in the die set, there's a gnome building die, which doesn't have stamps for it. He's actually pretty large, and so he's going to be a lot of fun to play with. So we are combining those two bundles to make our beautiful card. I'm also using the Ring of Love Designer Series paper. That paper was a celebration paper, and this is the piece I'm using. It is just gorgeous. It has all of those beautiful fall colors and then a nice soft pattern on the back side. I always use the designer series paper pack of colors that the artist used to color their images. It tells you what they are, and so crushed curry, soft suede, crumb cake, night of navy, beautiful, beautiful. And there's Parakeet Party. So I'm using soft suede as my base, cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And just the basics in stamping to let you know that whenever you do a layer, when your base now is closed, it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. So a 1/4 inch smaller is 5 1/4 by 4. And so 5 1/4 by 4 will layer perfectly over top. Then when you bring your designer series paper and do an added layer, you just want to go a 1/4 inch lower than that. So this is 5 by 3 3/4. Now you can do things differently. Maybe you don't want the designer series paper as large as this, so you could go down even smaller. But those are the basic equal quarter layers. For the inside of my card, I am also putting a 5 1/4 by 4 crushed curry on the inside, and then I have a very vanilla layer, 5 3 3/4, to mimic the outside. Now, what I want to give you a tip on, when you cut your papers, you will end up with these scraps or strips left over in designer paper and in the cardstocks. Do not throw these away. These are perfect for a sentiment that's long and skinny, for using little accent layers on a project. We're going to use a piece of the designer series paper on the inside to give it some interest. And so these are fantastic scraps to hang on to for sure. All right, now let's talk about that aspen tree die. Now, this is a large die, And you can notice that my tree, the die itself, is broken at the bottom here. That's because this piece of soft suede was cut at the same size as my designer series paper layer. And that layer was 5 by 3 3/4. Now, if you look at the 5 1/4 by 4, see how perfect that will actually, if you were to die cut it out that size, it would be held at the bottom as well. But that's okay. Just know that you cannot really go much smaller with this die if you want to keep it intact. And the top here, which matches all of these thin branches, you want to make sure you keep that totally intact. You don't want that to be the piece that's broken. Let the piece right down here be the one that just kind of breaks because it's a little bit too small. The paper's a little too small for the die. And it will work out just fine for you. Okay? All right, so isn't it beautiful when it comes out? Now the one thing, it's kind of a flat looking tree, so you can do a couple things. One of the things you can do is you can run it through an embossing folder. Say you have the timber embossing folder, something like that, and that will give it some embossed texture. I'm just going to use the splatter from the perched in a tree and just come right over top and stamp the splatter with my crushed curry ink. I just used the crushed curry because I'm using it in things for this card, so why not? And now you can see I've added that dot texture on here, and it just gives it a little bit more interest. So that's another way you can get some quick texture and take away some of that flatness, so to speak. All right, so I'm just going to do a little bit of gluing some layers here. Get my Stampin' seal. I just refilled my stamping seal and it just glides along so nicely. One of the things that tip I can give you when you're using the Stampin' seal, you really don't want to put hard pressure down on the cartridge. It's really meant to just glide right along. I'm hardly giving any kind of pressure at all, and it just glides so nicely. Oh, which way am I going here? My acorns are all going the wrong way, so I need to go this way. The acorns should hang down, they shouldn't float up. Make sure you take a look at that, right? So look how nice those layers are, just so equal. Everything looks so balanced. All right, another thing you can do, this is a pretty fine detailed image. You could use adhesive sheets on the back of your cardstock, and then you peel it off and it is already adhesived. But I'm just going to go ahead and use my liquid glue, and I am going to run it along, just light little layers here of glue. You don't need tons. It's a very strong glue. You just want to make sure your top and your edges are down. I already feel like I have a little bit too much glue going on there. Should share it along the way. So I do, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, click that bell. Like my video if you would. If you love fall like I do, yes. My oldest daughter and I went to Home Goods and Marshall's and looking at all the wonderful fall things that they have. I just said I have to take out my fall things and see what I have before I bring other things in. And the cashier said, oh, I'll hear none of that. Now what's really nice putting this on is I know this where it needs to go because the designer series paper is the same size. And so I'm going to lay that down, and it lays perfectly over top of that designer series paper. Make sure my little bottom there is connected, and there it is. How beautiful is that paper, designer series paper, coming up, showing through. It is so nice. Now I showed you in the Aspen tree dies there was leaves. I think I showed you. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure I did, because I had said there was that pudgy little leaf one. There we go, the pudgy bird die. But there's a really nice large one here, and it already has those embossed veins. And what's so nice about that is your leaf already has so much texture from that you don't need to do much more. But what I did is I've already die cut those out, and then I just took my blending brush and I gave it a little bit of coloring with the crushed curry to take some of that brightness away. And so that is done there. And look how beautiful that is, just like that. Oh, so nice. Well, I told you though, we have to get some gnomes in here because gnomes are just wonderful. So I'm using this little guy right here with the lantern because he's just so cute. And I'm going to use Memento because I have lots of Stampin' blends that we're going to use to color. And when you use Stampin' blends, you want to use the Memento ink. So let me ink him up, give him a stamp. There it is. It looks so good. All right. Now let's talk about coloring, and I'm going to bring this down a bit so you can see a little bit better when I color. I am going to use the light Night of Navy, and I'm going to use that for his hat. Stampin' blends blend so nicely, and I always say turn your paper when you are coloring in things. Don't twist your hand all up. I like to do kind of the outline first. And what's really nice is this is just going to color and blend so nicely when it dries. I just love it. Now I thought I'd also do his pants in the Night of Navy because why not? The marker's open. But this is where I'm going to bring in the pen part to get into those areas that are very tiny. He's got his pant leg over here too in this small little spot. So we want to make sure we do that well. There we go. Now I could bring in the dark Night of Navy as well, but I'm just going to come back in here with my light. Just to give a little shadow kind of going on here. Well, I guess I'm just going to color the whole thing again. Another layer, because my shadow got a little big on me. That's okay. There we go. Oh, I like that. Nice and deep. All right. Come a little bit more. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in, it's kind of a little bit bright. It's not crushed curry. It is Mango Melody, and Mango Melody works well. It can look a bit crushed curry-ish. There we are. It needs that. And then I'm using, let's see, light Poppy Parade. And that's going to be the color of his mittens or gloves that he's wearing. I could do black, but it's so cute. All right, I do have an ivory, and I'm going to use ivory for his nose. There we go. And then I'm going to be using gray for the lantern. Kind of gives it a metallic look, right? There we go. And we'll want some of that Mango Melody inside the lantern. There we are. And now we're going to go ahead and give him his beard. And I'm going to use, I'm going to use light crumb cake for his beard. And then I'll use a little bit of the dark to give it like his like the whiskers, because actually it's looking a lot like his nose. And we don't want that. We don't want his little bulbous nose to get lost, do we? No, we don't. So I'm going to come in over that a second time. That's what I love about the blends. I can go over it a second time. And now I can bring in that dark. And then that dark crumb cake, I'm going to come into his beard. I'm going to give him his little shadow under the nose. Give him some definition here. There we go. Oh, he's so cute, isn't he? Look at how cute he is. He is so cute. I love it. Now I really want to do his boots black, but I don't have the black here. But I do have the dark gray. So I'm just going to go in with the dark basic gray. And that does look different from his lantern. So I'll just do that, and then I'll go over it like a second time. And when it's dry, I could go over it a third time if I wanted to. Now I'm looking at this here, and I see one little spot, and I think it's his pants. Or is that, no, I think that's a piece of his beard, to be honest. Let's use that pen part, and I'll just, there we go. You almost couldn't see it. There we go. And look at our really super cute gnome. How cute is that? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm going to bring you back up a bit because we're going to have to cut this gnome out. So I'm going to move things aside. I'm going to bring up the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I love my mini machine. One of the reasons I love it is when I'm doing a video like I am, I have to do minimal moving of my camera up and down. So I have my small, number 1, then number 2, then this, and let's find our gnome. Which gnome is it? There are 2 of our gnomes in the stamp set that have, well, they all have their hat tipped over. But his is over to the right, so I know him easily. Now I just lay everything down. Gotta go up a little bit, guy. You are too cute, my friend. Too cute. He is too cute. And then we'll run it through. Just like that. Oh my goodness, he's cute. Are you feeling that fall yet? I am feeling that fall. Pop that closed, set it aside. I'm going to pop my die right back in its holder because I do not want to lose it. And there he is. Oh, he's so cute, you guys. Do a whole bunch of those, huh? I think so. All right. So let's bring this here. My little guy is going to sit there, and of course he has some very large leaves in comparison. They're almost the same size as him, but that's okay. And he's going to be standing there, and I want these leaves to kind of be coming here behind him, just like so. Excellent. So these are going to get glued down, and because they're getting glued down on the soft suede, but then there's the designer paper underneath, I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue just to make sure that those stay down. And I'm going to put one right there, and then the other one right there with it. And then he is going to get dimensioned. And I am going to give him 4 dimensionals. Yes, I said it, 4. There are 300 dimensionals in a package. Use them, right? Oh. So if you don't know, I have Mary Stampin' Spot on Facebook. And I do live every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And I have a lot of fun with my friends that join me live. I usually do 3 projects. Sometimes I will spotlight a stamp set. Other time it'll be techniques. And other times it will just be some fun stamping of who knows what. And I often do giveaways. So I'll put the link below for the Mary Stampin' Spot. There's also the Stampin' Cafe Facebook group, which is a private group actually, and it's just for some fun social stamping, things like that. But Mary's Stampin' Spot is where you'll see my lives. And so I'll put those links below. There we go. I'm using soft suede ink because that is the base of the card. And no matter the season, I'm here for you. And that is so nice because we're fall. I could do this again in spring. I could do it again in summer if I wanted to. And then I'm going to use the Stylish Shapes dies. That's these right here. The Stylish Shape has all the layering circles, the layering squares. Then we have 4 different sizes of the banners. And what's really difficult, sometimes you're looking for that great size that you need for a sentiment that you're using. And this die set you have in your stamp set doesn't have anything like that. It doesn't have any banner pieces, right? Or the banner piece that it has doesn't fit or work for the sentiment maybe that you're pulling from a different stamp set. Because, you know, we don't always use the sentiment that's in the stamp set. We've got all sorts of sentiment sets. And so the Stylish Shapes are really great. This is a perfect size for this one because this is a large sentiment. So I'm just going to line it up, put it in, and run it through. My mini machine is great. It really can die cut lots and lots and lots and lots of, and emboss many of the Stampin' Up! Dies and embossing folders. And there we are. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. I love when the writing is 2 different fonts. No matter the season, I'm here for you. That is very nice, and that's going to go here. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to dull that vanilla down by doing a little bit of blending on it. Let me just put this away. Let's bring that back in here, and we, of course, need our crushed curry. To go around and give it some color. Now, World Card Making Day is October 1st, and you can join. Stampin' Up! Is hosting a free virtual workshop. It's going to be so much fun. I'll put the link below. You can register, but you also don't have to be registered. You can join together with some friends. That's going to go just like that. Do I want it to come down here like this? Not at all. It has to come up here because it needs to. Oh, I think it's going to go just like that. I like it right in the center, just like that. And am I going to raise it up? I am not. I am just going to let the gnome be raised up. Now again, I'm using my multi-purpose liquid glue because it has quite a bit of those ridges to get over. Going to come right in. Going to tuck right in under those leaves. Let's make sure we're straight. There we are. And you know what I think? I think I'm going to do another. Yes, I want to do another leaf so you guys can see how beautifully. One more leaf. You know, they say you want to have things in odd numbers, and so I believe that's true as well. And we need to balance out our card by adding another leaf, which is very easy. Just going to grab an extra crushed curry piece, and there's no stamping involved, which is great. I can get all that texture and detail just by die cutting quickly this leaf. Yes, it'll be great. That's what I love when you're creating and you think you've got your plan down, and then you just alter it a little bit and you think, I need a little something more. It's so great. It's easy to do too. Just grab that die, grab that little piece of cardstock, and you are good to go. Comes out perfectly just like that. Put it right back. You don't want to lose your die. Put that aside. Bring in that crushed curry blending brush. Give it a little shush. Give it a little, there we go. And some liquid glue. Don't need much, remember. And now that's going to come and tuck right under here. I want it to come over a little bit, just right there. Wowzers. See? It needed that third one. It so needed it. Put a little liquid glue under there to get that down. Did I get any on there? Boop. There it is. All right. Now, no worries. It is a quick inside of this card. No matter the season, I'm here for you. Beautiful. We've got our inside layers to put on. Oh. Sometimes that Stampin' Seal will get a little aggressive. There's that. And now my vanilla can get glued right inside as well. And remember at the beginning I said, now don't throw away any of your scrap strips and things that you get, because you can use those as a little addition into your card. You can have it go up a little bit like that. You could come right down to the bottom. You could even put it on the inside just like this if you wanted to. But I'm going to do it at the bottom, and I am going to give it just a little bit of a gap. For some reason I like when it has just that little gap there. There we are, and then you can write your note right inside for that person you're thinking of. And there we go. Now, if I wanted to go just a little bit more, would I want to put any of my beautiful leaf label amber gems on here? They are so very nice. I think I will. It's all about the bling. It's all about that bling. And of course we'll want 3 of those as well. But where shall I? Okay. All right. Put it right there. Then I'm going to move this one. The reason I'm moving that one is I don't want them so right up like with each other like that. So that can go like that. Maybe I'm just going to use the 2. Large one and a little one. No, I'll put this one just up a little bit more. Right there. There we go. Oh, decisions, decisions. All right, well, goodness, there it is. My beautiful aspen dies. That beautiful Rings of Love Designer Series paper. Those leaves are fantastic. And of course, my little gnome there. He's just waiting for his friend, letting him know that he's there for them. One of the things I wanted to show you is that if you're not aware of, and you do not have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, here in the annual catalog on page 158 and 159, Stampin' Up! Has some bundles. And the one that I wanted to bring to your attention was, there is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the Stylish Shapes collection. So you get the Stylish Shapes dies and the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with all of its plates for $93. So that's this Stylish Shape die set. And the mini embossing machine that I was just using, you get that and the machine with all of its die plates for $93. So if you don't have this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it's a great value to do it that way. There's also 3 other bundles included. There's another mini, and then they also have a standard size embossing machine for that. But here is our wonderful fall card for Saturday Stamping Today. I really do appreciate you stopping in. Check out the links below for the World Card Making Day. And also, I'm having a huge September giveaway. I didn't even talk about that with the host code that's down there. And I'll have a link below that you can just shop with. When you place a $30 order during September, you are in for a drawing for some of my September giveaways, which are things like bundles and die sets and designer series paper and all sorts of great things that I'm going to be giving away on my Facebook Live after September 25th. So thanks so much, you guys. Again, if you haven't, hit that button to subscribe. And until next time, happy stampin'!